Chicago is on a torrid pace of making records since their debut of Chicago Transit Authority in 1969. And in just 4 years, we're already up to Chicago 6, which was released on sometime in 1973. It has 10 songs and is produced by James William Guercio, and it's about 38 minutes long. And, Chicago 1, 2, and 3 are studio albums, and then 4 is a live album, and then 5 and 6 are the next proper albums. So that's 5 albums just in 4 years. I mean, and they were touring nonstop, so it's just a lot of work. 5 of the 10 tracks in here are Robert Lamb. 2 are by James Pankow, 1 by Terry Kath, and then 1 by Peter Cetera, and then there's a final song that is co-written by Pankow and Cetera together. And just a torrid pace, really. Especially when you consider that the first 3 albums are double albums. And the second 2 are just proper single albums. And like I said, 10 songs on this one. So Chicago 6 it's a little bit of everything. It's pop. It's jazz. They're introducing some funk in this one. And then, of course, Terry Kath does the ballad, which it's obligatory. And this is a Rhino remaster, and you got the songs and even a couple of bonus tracks here on this one. What's different about this one is the hi-hat is cranked up really loud on several of the songs. So that's that that you hear in the drums. And the horns are not so prominent on this record compared to their other records. It just seems like there's less of the horns. Although there's horns. I mean, there's horns in every song. It's just there's less space to jam. So fewer long jams. And still some jams here and there, but not many, not as sprawled out and not as frequently. And Terry Kath's influence has also been minimized, although he still does a lot. And he's still Terry Kath. And that's it. That's the introduction. So track 1 is Critics' Choice. That's the name of the song. It's authored by Robert Lamb, and it's 2 minutes and 49 seconds. And Robert Lamb is the lead vocalist on this song. And the introduction, it's only, by the way, the whole song is just only Terry Lamb playing piano and singing. And this song, why does it remind me of a Queen song? My wife suggested Bohemian Rhapsody when we were listening to it. And by the way, this Critics' Choice is 2 years before Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, which was October 1975. So I think maybe they influenced Queen, although I could be wrong. I didn't research it very hard, but it just seemed that way to me. Critics' Choice is in the key of F major, or the D minor variant. The sheet music shows a lot of minor chords, so it could be D minor, and it's slowly tempoed in 4/4 time, changing to 2/4 time. The verse is, "What do you want? What do you want? I'm giving you everything I have." It's a 10-bar verse with some of those 2/4 time bars. And then the bridge is, "What do you really know? You parasite, you're dynamite." It's 16 bars. But there are some pretty striking tempo changes in that bridge. And there's no solos or breaks or instrumentals to Critics' Choice. Like I said, they just allowed for fewer of those spots on this album. And here we go. This song doesn't even have any, I don't think it has any brass at all in it, so, or woodwinds or anything. For Critics' Choice, it's a verse, bridge, verse, and that's the song structure. The second track is called Just You and Me. It's written by James Pankow. It's 3 minutes and 42 seconds, and lead vocals are by Peter Cetera. It's in the key of B flat major, moderate tempo, and 4/4 time. And the intro is about 4 bars. The verse is, "You are my life in my life, and you are my inspiration." And, Peter, you know how Peter sings. It's a 12-bar verse. And then the chorus is, "Come on, hold me close, yeah. Never release me." It's 13 bars. And then there is a longer instrumental in this one. It's a solo. It's 30 bars with the sax. The sax solo is about half of it. The sax solo ends at the 2-minute 42 on the clock, if you're listening to this at home. And then there's a bridge in the song. It's "Just you and me to carry on simple and free, my lovely blah blah blah. It's about 10 bars in. I'm not sure, but I think it's in 3/4 time. I wasn't able to see the sheet music, but that was my best guess just listening to it. Uh, Just You and Me is a verse chorus. The instrumental, including that sax solo in the second half of it, that 30 bars, 15 of the bars is a sax solo, and then the bridge, and then a final verse, and that's Just You and Me. Track 3 is Darlin' Dear, written by Robert Lamb, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Lead vocals by Robert Lamb. It's in the key of C major and moderate tempo and 4/4 time. In the intro, he just says, "Roll that tape," and the intro is about 8 bars or about 25 seconds, and then the verse is, "Since the time, half the night, feeling good, feeling right." It's a 12-bar verse. They like the 12-bar verse in this album, and plus a few bars to go to the next verse, and then there's a break from. That's the third part of the song, the intro, the verse, and then the third part is the break. It runs from 1:32 to 2 minutes and 20 seconds, about 2:20-ish. And that's about 24 bars of lead guitar solo by Terry Kath. Darlin' Dear is very simple song structure. It's intro, verse, break, verse, and outro. And then the fourth track on the album is Jenny. Jenny is the Terry Kath authored ballad with lead vocals by Terry Kath. And like I said, this is a ballad in the typical Terry Kath ballad way from Chicago 1, 2, 3, or 5. I like the drumming in this song. Really strong hi-hat through the whole song. And it's like right on top of everything. It's in the key of G major, is Jenny, in moderate and 4/4 time. The verse is, Jenny, you know I'm going away, and you know my woman's here. It's a 16-bar verse. And then Terry Kath likes these really long verses, if you haven't noticed. And a lot of the songs have 20 bars or longer. The bridge here is, now maybe it's going to be all right. Won't have to fight. It's an 8-bar verse. I counted it out. And then the break is from 2 minutes and 6 seconds to 2:30. More like a short break than a solo. Sounds like slide guitar in the lead, but buried in the middle of the mix. I'd assume that's Terry Kath on slide guitar. Those are the three elements of the song: the verse, the bridge, and the break. And the song arrangement is verse, bridge, that break, and then a verse, and then a final bridge. And that's Jenny. Track 5 on Chicago 6 is What's This World Coming To, written by James Pankow. It's 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Lead vocals alternating like Robert Lamb, Peter Cetera, and Terry Kath. They're changing and rotating who's singing the lead. This song has a real funky beat to it, and I would say What's This World Coming To is my favorite song on the album. It's in the key of A major, but the common chord is A7 sharp 9, at least according to the sheet music I saw on Music Notes. It's a slow, strong beat in 4/4 time. The verse is, why can't folks get along with one another? Because Jesus said you got to love your brother. It's an 8-bar verse. And then the chorus is, oh, what's this world coming to? Ha ha, hope for love. Come on through, come on through. It's an 8-bar chorus. And then there's a jam break, which is very short. It runs from 1 minute and 11 seconds to 1 minute and 31 seconds, which is 20 seconds or about 8 bars if you're counting long, with a change up of the time signature at the end. And then there's a bridge. What's this world coming to? It's about 8-bar bridge. And then the outro is the final part of the song. It runs from 3 minutes and 30 seconds until the end, or about 1 minute and 30 seconds, or thereabouts. And like I said, real funky beat, and my favorite tune on the album. The song structure is verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus, outro. I mean, that's a real famous complex song structure for rock and roll. It could be a Beatles song, really. Track 6, Something in the City Changes People, written by Robert Lamb, 3 minutes and 42 seconds, and lead vocals by All at times, and then the choruses are Lee Lofnan singing. When they all sing on this song, it reminds me of Yes, at least at times. It's not an exact Yes, but I think you'd know what I mean if you listen to it. And very strong vocal harmonies. And this song opens with a very sad piano line. And Something in the City Changes People, key of G flat major. And if you've ever seen that before, there are 6 flats in the key signature. probably difficult to play in on the piano. It's a moderate tempo and 4/4 time. The verse starts, maitre d's will see me knowing what I spend. They offend, so sad, so sad. Those are 16 bar verses in the song. And then the chorus is, they see I'm happy with my lady. They're not satisfied, all their feelings died. And it's a 12 bar chorus, plus a few bars at the end with somebody going, ew, ew, like that. And then the third part of the song after the verse and chorus is the outro. The outro goes, it starts at 3 minutes and 10 seconds and featuring a piano by the, I think it's Walter Perzaider playing the flute, but on the lower end of the flute instrument. Like, it's not that high, that whistly high end of the flute. It's like a lower, at least that's my best guess. And based on looking at the credits, that's my best guess. Something in the City Changes People is a verse, chorus, outro. A very simple song. Track 7 is called Hollywood, written by Robert Lamb, 3 minutes and 52 seconds on Chicago 6. And lead vocals are by Robert Lamb, and sometimes including the choruses, I would assume the entire group is singing, or at least Peter and Terry and but I think they all sing. It's in the key of D flat major, and it's moderate in 7/4 time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The verse is people running everywhere and not one place to go. Got no time to look around to find out where they are. It's an 8 bar verse in 7/4. Plus, there's 2 bars to go back to the next verse, like a 2 bar, think of it like a half a phrase. And then the chorus is Hollywood crazy, neighborhood never understood why I stay. It's a 16 bar chorus. So the choruses are twice as long as the verses. And then there's a post chorus one time after the chorus. They sing, I heard it through the grapevine at the end. And that post chorus is like an 8 bars. And then there's a break in this song. There's 2 breaks. Break 1 is 9 bars total. I counted it. It's in between the first chorus and the second verse. So if you're scoring along at home, it's 47 seconds to a minute and 5 seconds. So just very, very short breaks in this album. What is that, 10, 15, 17 seconds. And then the second break runs from 2:08 to 2:25. It's also 9 bars again. So about the same length of time. There's a bridge in this song. Telling lies, Hollywood, Hollywood, things are weak. It's an 8 bar bridge. And then finally the last part of the song is the outro. And heard it through the grapevine. And then the outro starts at 3 minutes and 9 seconds until the end of the song. Okay. So it's the song arrangement is fairly complicated. Verse, break, chorus. Verse, break, chorus, then that post-chorus that I talked about, and then the bridge is at the end, and then the outro. Okay, and that's Hollywood. Track 8 is In Terms of Two, written by Peter Cetera. It's 3 minutes and 29 seconds, and lead vocals by Peter Cetera. It's in the key of D major and moderate tempo, 4/4 time. The verse is, you played the part of this hard to get, and somehow you knew that I couldn't forget. It's 12 bars, and it's in the Peter, the Peter voice. And then the chorus is, you're breaking my heart, shaking me up the part. It's 6 bars or 8 bars. It seems about right. If you say 8 bars with 2 4-bars at the end, a couple of 2 measures, 2 4-bar measures, or you know what I mean. It was hard to count, but I think you'll catch it. It's a time change. There's a harmonica solo in this song, which is unusual for a Chicago song. It runs from 2:48 to 3:29, about 41 seconds long in the outro. Okay, and that's how the song ends. The song arrangement is verse, chorus, verse, outro, and the outro contains that harmonica solo. Track 9 is called Rediscovery. It's written by Robert Lamb, 4 minutes and 47 seconds, and lead vocals by Robert. And this is another mildly funky song, but this time it reminds me of, Randy Newman. You know how there's a Randy Newman gag in Family Guy where he's like, left foot, right foot from the Pixar. It's a Pixar movie goof. And that's what it reminds me of. It's in the key of C major and moderately slow tempo and 4/4 time. And the verse is, "Oh, what a beautiful night, the stars are shining bright." It's 16 bars. And then there's a break that's after a couple of verses. The break runs from 139 to 233. About 20 bars of guitar solo with the brass making really big sounds in it, like boom, 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 like that. It's the break is just shy of a minute at 54 seconds long. And then there's an outro which contains a guitar solo. It's 34 bars, which is a longer one. For this album, I'll say that's a longer jam, starting at about the 3:14 mark. It runs 1 minute and 32 seconds, and I just lost my spot. It's about a minute and 33 seconds total. Not quite like Mudmen, that guitar solo, but if you've ever heard Pink Floyd Obscured by Clouds, it's pretty close to that. Guac, guac, guac. Oh, I just made, look at that. Did you see that? Okay. The song structure for Rediscovery is verse, verse, break, verse, outro. And that's Rediscovery. Track 10 is the final track on Chicago 6, and it's called Feelin' Stronger Every Day, written by James Pankow and Peter Cetera. This is the one that they co-authored together that I talked about at the beginning. It's 4 minutes and 15 seconds long and lead vocals by Peter Cetera, and he's a great vocalist. This is my third favorite song on the album after What's the World Coming To and Rediscovery. And also, this is the hit song for the record. I generally don't love pop songs too much, but I do like this one. It's in the key of C major, moderate tempo, 4/4 time. The verse is, "I do believe in you, and I know you believe in me." It's an 8-bar verse. And the chorus is, "I know we really tried together. We had love inside, oh yeah." It's a 5-bar quick chorus with a 2/4 time. So 1, 2. There's one of those bars in there. They did a lot of that in this album. There's a solo or a break, which is very fast at 5 bars. It runs from 2:01 to 2:18. And then there's a bridge. "After what you've meant to me, oh baby now," 16 bars. Then there's a jam in the middle of the bridge from 2:41 to 3:04, which is unusual, but it's about 24 seconds long. In the background, you can hear them singing the Jumpin' Jack Flash thing. That's in the bridge. In the middle of the bridge, like the bridge is split into two. It's weird, but I think you get it. The outro is "Feeling Stronger Every Day" after the Jumpin' Jack Flash part. And the outro runs from 3 minutes and 4 seconds to the end. The final track, "Feelin' Stronger Every Day," the song structure is verse, chorus, break, the bridge, and then an outro. And that's it. That's Chicago 6. You know, I didn't even talk about it, but this is the album cover. A pretty cool picture of the band there. And it's got like a bluish, yellowish, or I don't know if you'd call that blue or gray, but, and then looking at the bottom, it says Columbia Records. Even though, wow, yeah. Even though Rhino Records did the remasters. I think that's pretty funny. Okay, there's a couple of bonus tracks on this that I talked about. 11 and 12. I won't go into them deep, but it's Beyond Our Sorrows. It's a Terry Kath demo, and it sounds like a demo. You know, it sounds like a demo. It's nothing outstanding. And then track 12 is Tired of Being Alone, featuring vocals Al Green. And it also sounds like a demo, but a little less of a demo than the track 11. But those are included on as bonuses if you're into buying remasters or whatever. I don't know. I don't buy remasters just for the bonuses, but I buy remasters if they have them available and I don't have the CD, or that's all they have. Anyway, the summary. Chicago 6 went to number 1 in America on the charts, and it sold a bunch, like all Chicago records did back then. it sold 2.1 million copies, which I think it's a lot, but for 1973, that was good for only number 20. And on the Chicago list, that's their sixth best-selling album. ProgArchives.com gives this a 2.63, which is a fairly that's fairly low for ProgArchives.com. Of course, that's like a calculated from user ratings, and it's only on 94 ratings, so it's not like there's thousands of people that have submitted ratings for this album. But I still think that's low. It probably should be closer to 3 or above 3. It's good. I mean, it's definitely not Chicago's best. I'll say that. Let's see. AllMusic.com gives it 4 stars, and Rolling Stone, Gordon Fletcher wrote a fairly vicious review of it in 1973, but didn't apply a rating. But I would imagine had Gordon given it a rating, he would have scored it very high. But it's Rolling Stone. Anyway, that'll be the review for Chicago 6. It's up to this point, it probably is the worst Chicago of the first 6 records, or at least the first 5 studio records. But the first 5, or 4, I should say, are so good. I mean, they're really, the first 3 are amazing, and then the fourth one, Chicago 5, is really good. I think it's really good. But this one's even a step back. But don't worry, they'll recover quickly, because the album that's next is the gold one, and that one's... I'm not going to do a comparison here, but pretty good. Okay, next up on the channel, by the way, that's the end of Chicago 6. I'm looking forward to your comments or your likes and subscribes. So if you have any comments, please leave them in the YouTube tool, and I'll respond back. I do like reading your comments. If you would give this video a like, I'd really appreciate it. And if you haven't, a lot of my viewers are not subscribers, so if you're watching this and you're not a subscriber, please go ahead and subscribe. It won't hurt you. My videos will start to appear in your feed, is what happens. That's it. Anyway, next on the channel, Brain Salad Surgery by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and then after that, a Yes album called Tales from Topographic Oceans.